No.
But there were some positives there as
Yeah.
well, I suppose. We should try and draw those out
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So where would we pick the positives?
I will reiterate what I said earlier, which is that from an investment planning perspective, retirement planning, inheritance tax planning, ultimately there wasn't too much change. And don't get me wrong, you'd have liked to have seen a positive change, but
Yep.
the fact that there wasn't too much going on in the investment space, it is kind of a positive in itself. We've had a lot of people holding off for probably the best part of 3 months now, waiting to see what was going to happen. So much speculation. People were talking about potential caps on gifting money, potential caps on trust limits, and again, pensions and tax-free cash, or the change in pension annual allowance. None of that happened. So from a perspective of getting money flowing again into markets, into investment, we're okay for another 12 months or maybe 9 months until the speculation starts again.
Yes.
But we did see some minor changes with investments. So there are enterprise investment schemes and venture capital trusts, which are kind of alternative solutions that we use for clients and investors. And we did see a reduction in VCT, venture capital trust relief, income tax relief, from 30% down to 20%. So there are these kind of smaller negative changes that are unwelcome, but yes, to be positive, not too much change is helpful for people trying to plan for the future.
Like you said, no news is good news.
A bit, yes, for now, and then hopefully as we get down the line we can see some good news.
Yes, yeah. And from a business perspective, I think that the key positive that came out, if you've happened to fall into that category, is looking at the business rates. And particularly for those with small premises. And you look at some of the sectors that we know have had a tough time over the past few years. So hospitality, leisure, retail, small retail. There are absolutely a potential benefits there coming in. So they need to check those businesses. You need to check whether you are eligible for that lower rate.
And then also the flip side to that, where they are looking at increasing the rates on warehouses. So they are trying to tackle the likes of Amazon and larger retailers that don't have a shop front to deal with. They are literally online presences, so they have been historically quite low on their rates, sort of thing. So
there's more to come from them.
Yeah.
And then there's this revaluation as well, isn't there, that they're looking at in 2026, or the support package for those who are being revalued. So again, it's looking at whether there's some support there that can help cushion the impact that you're going to get. But that's probably the biggest positive for businesses, I'm afraid. So it's quite narrow.
Yeah, it is. There seems to be a lot more pain. It's more irksome pain than, oh my lord, the world's falling apart sort of pain. Really.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be a sort of a bit of a trickle effect. You're not going to notice it straight off.
But in 3 to 6 or even 9 months' time, you will start to notice that.
And I think that's where looking at sort of the management accounts on a regular basis and really trying to define where this impact is to help you forecast going forward is going to be critical for businesses.
Definitely. And again, it's really to drive the businesses to understand their numbers and to understand where their costs are going and everything like that, because if you're not careful, it will creep up on you and you will go, oh, nuts, I don't have the cash to pay this.
Absolutely.
Sort of thing, if you're not careful. So it's just one of those budgets that, again, you sit there and you think, it's not great, it's not ideal, but it's livable, sort of thing. So
I think that's what they went for. The scatter of, we're going to hit lots of different things, some more niche than others, a bit, so that everyone's going to feel a pinch, but we're not going to hit the headline, the manifesto, pledges. And you can argue that they did hit those with NI and things like that 2 years in a row, but they can, perhaps say to themselves that they didn't, and we can see smaller impacts elsewhere. But yes, it's a difficult year ahead again, I think. And but they did build some buffer, as we said, which is another positive you can kind of take from things.
Well, again, sort of touching on the NI, they're freezing the rates that for the employer, so you get £5,000 an employee allowance. But they're also increasing the lower earnings limit and primary thresholds and everything like that as well on the employee side. So yeah, there is a possibility they might pay a little less national insurance, but as an employer, you're still going to be paying more national insurance because your NMW is going up, and that's really going to hit a lot of our hospitality and retail guys who are, a lot of the guys, their employees are on minimum wage. Rightly or wrongly.
Yeah.
That's how, that's
and
how
they've got tight
works.
margins as well anyway.
Tight margins, yeah, and it's which then drives up their prices because the wholesale price is going to go up and everything like that. Again, I know the government is saying we're trying to help with electricity and all this sort of stuff. How we're capping the prices on that, or trying to help cap the prices on that. It's still going to affect those small businesses.
Yeah.
They some are working on 3 or 4% margins, and you're hitting them with a minimum wage rise of 4 to 5%. It's a hell of a jump.
That wipes out everything, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's
gone.
So absolutely check about those business rates
yeah,
then to
yeah,
see if they
yeah,
get that
yeah, some money
support,
back,
because that might be the buffer that they need.
Yeah.